Welcome back. You're watching Citizen Live at 1. Now, Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott has questioned why the gunman in the Sydney cafe siege was not on the country's terror watch list as the government examines why hostage taker Haron Moniz, who kidnapped dozens at the cafe for over 6 hours on Monday. 3 people, including Moniz, died when police commandos stormed the cafe.
Hundreds of Australians gathered outside the Martin Place to lay flowers in memory of the victims of Lindet Cave siege. 2 hostages, Katrina Dawson, a lawyer, and Tori Johnson, the cave manager, died after police commandos stormed the cave after a 16-hour siege by Iranian refugee Haron Moniz, who was also killed on Tuesday morning. Australia Prime Minister Tony Abbott has said that the man, a self-styled Muslim cleric, was deeply disturbed and questioned why he was not on the country's terror watch list. Abbott led the nation in paying tribute to the 2 hostages who died during the incident.
Appalling and ugly incident. Our hearts go out to the families of Katrina Dawson and Tori Johnson. These were decent, good people who were going about their ordinary lives.
An investigation has been launched into the police operation, while police are also investigating the motives of Moniz. The man who had received political asylum in Australia in 1996 and was out on bail facing a sexual assault charge, amongst a slew of other criminal accusations. Gatete Njoroge, Citizen Live at 1.
A widow of the late Cabinet Minister Mbiu Koinange says she will sue the government for damages following her acquittal of murder charges alongside 6 others. Eda Wanjiru Mbiu, her stepson David Njono, and 5 others were acquitted of the killing of Maasai land activists Parsaya Ole Kitu and Moses Olempoe by Enokuru Court. Justice Helen Omondi acquitted the suspect, citing lack of evidence. Tobias Bele brings us the details.
The ruling by Justice Helen Omondi brought to an end a case that has spanned over the last 2 years. The ruling stated that the prosecution had failed to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the accused were guilty of killing the 2 activists. The family of the late Koinange has welcomed the ruling, but says it will now move to court to seek damages for the case that has damaged their names.
We are very thankful. We have seen justice.
Alinunua hiyo shamba kutoka kwa serikali kupitia kwa SFT. Na yeye alikuwa mtu mwenye jina nzuri. Na jina hiyo tumesuffer very much. Na hiyo jina imewekwa na hii ruling au vile maneno yamekuja katika mawakili wetu kuonyesha sisi ni watu wa haki.
It was alleged that Koinange's widow alongside 6 others had conspired to murder the 2 on 3rd December 2010 at Soilo Junction along the Nakuru-Eldoret Road. The case is linked to a controversial 4.2-acre Madeira farm in Mount Narok, which has been embroiled in ownership dispute. But even as the court acquitted the Koinange family of the murder, family and friends of the late Moses Olempoe expressed their disappointment with the ruling, terming it unfair and unjust.
Hatujaridhishwa na uamuzi wa mahakama na hatutaridhika kamwe.
Mimi naomba tabasali serikali ya Kenya, hatujatosheka na justice, hatujafanywa fair, na tunaomba kabisa serikali iingilie kati kwa maana sasa sisi tuko hatarini.
They however intimated they will not be appealing the ruling. Tobias Bele for Citizen Live at 1.
Well, let's now have a look at the business news. Residents of Faza Island in Lamu County now have a new fish and meat market. The market was built at a cost of 8 million shillings by the county government of Lamu. The launch of the market comes against the backdrop of a 6-month-long curfew that has dragged down business in Lamu County. The fishing industry in Lamu has particularly suffered the biggest blow owing to the ban of fishing past 6 p.m. Speaking during the opening of the market, County Governor Issa Timami said the county government has also procured 50 modern outboard fishing vehicles which will help fishermen venture into deep sea fishing.
Si mali ya Timami, haya ni mali yetu. Kwa hivyo ni muhimu tuwe na nidhamu na ni muhimu tudumishe usafi pale.
Tomatoes agriculture now, where at least 9 different drought-tolerant and disease-resistant maize varieties have been released to farmers in western Kenya. The new varieties are seeking to cushion maize farmers against the deadly maize-lethal necrosis disease, which has been ravaging maize-growing areas in the North and South Rift regions. Patrick Igunza now reports.
Maize is Kenya's #1 staple food, so much so that its supply is often viewed as a measure of Kenya's food security. But in the wake of climate change, areas known as the country's grain basket have been under growing pressure to feed the country, a situation that has necessitated the development of new drought-resistant maize varieties. One such variety is the water-efficient maize for Africa variety, which is said to increase maize yields by between 20 and 35% in moderate dry weather conditions, a quality that will help promote the commercial cultivation of maize outside the traditional maize growing areas.
Gradually, we want to make farmers, small-scale farmers, move from subsistence, just growing for their tummy, for their family, into making business out of farming.
Farmers in Hamisi, Vihiga County are now sampling the new maize variety. Chris Adego and Atanasi Aginga are among the first beneficiaries of the pilot introduction of the new maize variety.
Vile nilivuna hizi nikaona kuna tofauti, sababu kuna gunia nilipanda, kwa hiyo nilipata gunia 3. Na hizi zingine wakati nilikuwa nikipanda hii local variety nilikuwa napata kitu kama gorogoro 2 hivi, ambapo hiyo ni kama 40 kg.
Na mahali nilikuwa napata hata haikuwa ifiki gunia. Wakati nilipanda hiyo nilipata hapo magunia 12 baada ya kuvuna msimu uliopita.
According to the Water Efficient Maize for Africa project manager, at least 140,000 tons of the new maize variety is currently awaiting import clearance at the Kenya-Tanzania border.
We are hopeful that by the next growing season in January, farmers will be able to have this seed so that their expectation will be met.
The introduction of the new maize variety comes at a time when the government is assuring the country of adequate food supply between now and April next year. Patrick Igunza, Citizen, live at 1.
Meanwhile, the Kenyan shilling has held steady against the US dollar, with remittances from Kenyans living abroad said to be offsetting the demand for hard currencies by local corporates. Excuse me. According to the Central Bank of Kenya, the home unit is now trading at 90 shillings and 53 cents buying, 90 shillings and 72 cents selling to the US dollar. Against the euro, the shilling is trading at 112 shillings and 72 cents buying, 112 shillings and 97 cents selling, while exchanging at 141 shillings and 83 cents buying, 142 shillings and 14 cents selling to the sterling pound. On the regional front, the local unit is trading at 18 shillings and 90 cents buying, 19 shillings and 5 cents selling versus the Tanzanian shilling and 30 shillings and 53 cents buying, 30 shillings and 70 cents selling against its Ugandan counterpart. Meanwhile, the weather